Hey everyone! Another sketchbook flip through coming at you right now. I just finished this guy on March 28th. And let's see, I started on September 8th. So this is a Hannah Mule watercolor sketchbook in case you are interested. The cover is like a weird fabric, so I thought instead of putting stickers all over it, I would put this patch. This is a Dave Quiggle patch. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's an amazing artist. I'll put a link to his site below. And I use Posca pens here to write this on. And this is, I was playing with my Cricut, so this is cut out from vinyl. Okay, so I just stuck a bunch of stuff in here randomly that I collected, and as most of you know, at the beginning of every sketchbook I started off with Soli Deo Gloria, which means to God be the glory. So this one is Meridian Hill Park. It's in Washington, D.C., and I met at this park with a sketch meetup that I go with sometimes. This was such a cool park, and I did not even know it existed. Very peaceful. This was in Butler at my son's house. We were just visiting, and my daughter-in-law had all these pumpkins that were really pretty, so I went ahead and sketched those. And she was drying these onions on the back porch, and it was funny because they were strung all over the place and there was a string of lights there, so I thought, why not sketch that for something fun to remember? This one I did a video for. It was just like a dead sunflower in my yard one time whenever I was desperate. This is, let's see, 7 Foot Knoll Lighthouse in Baltimore, Maryland. My husband and I went to a concert here. It was like an outside venue. I can't remember what the venue's called though. But while we were waiting for the show to start, I sketched, because this thing is so cool looking. Why not? This was at the Union Market in DC with the Urban Sketchers meetup group. I think this was the first time I met with the Urban Sketchers. I'm not positive though, but that was super fun. This was from my nature journaling group at Lake Akatink, and we found caterpillars that day. It was so fun. This is a white line spinked moth caterpillar on an evening primrose, and then this one was hanging in a tree that we found. He's so cool. I just love caterpillars. This was Franklin Park Art Center. This was a place that I'd never been to, but they were the ones holding the Bob Ross exhibit. So of course I had to go. And we were there early, so I just sketched, and I realized I forgot to cross my T. Just painting some leaves that I found around the neighborhood. I love painting leaves, especially in the colored ones in the fall. They're just beautiful. I went to Arlington National Cemetery once with my friend Chris, aka our Art Adventure, and it was beautiful autumn leaves that day. I loved it. And this was another sketch from that day at the Memorial Amphitheater. This was from a video I made. I can't remember if it was a Patreon video or on my YouTube. Isn't that horrible? I can't remember so many things, but fall leaf. This was from one time I met at a sketch group as well. It was in the National Gallery, so I just did a real quick sketch before I met. And then this was for a video where I unboxed my Misfits box and painted some of the vegetables and fruit inside. This was gouache. This was around Christmas time. My daughter-in-law was getting her voice lesson, and I went along because there's this really cute place called Volant nearby, and I did a little walking around and shopping and sketching, of course. This was my 2020 goal list. Just a little collage. Another sketch group at the Supreme Court of the United States. We were actually sitting at the Capitol building, but you could see the Supreme Court from there. Little gouache cardinal. And then a few days later, these were just some of the guys that I saw out in my yard. Another sketch group. This was the Urban Sketchers group at the Reach at the Kennedy Center. This was kind of a weird group that day, or a location, because there wasn't a lot of stuff to sketch inside of this building. So this was the most interesting part that I found inside, and there was actually a dad and a little kid that played the piano for a while, so captured that. This was at a, I was doing a outside craft market, and this was just the little skyline in Crystal City. Did a quick sketch of that. Watercolor. This was another sketch group. Most of these are from sketch groups this time, which is great. I love going to sketch groups, obviously. This was at Mount Vernon, George Washington's house. This was the servants' quarters. And I have a little picture of it here. It was crazy busy that day, because the reason we went is because it was free admission for President's Day, so that was crazy. Oh wow, my lights just went dim. My light, aka the sunshine. This was a really fun page that I made after a sketch group nature journaling outing. We walked and walked and heard and saw so many birds, so I had to document it. We only heard the owl, and I heard this woodpecker and heard the red-bellied woodpecker. I saw the little nuthatch, blue heron, the male hooded, I forget how to say this, merganser duck, so cool, and a turkey vulture. This was from our little tiny vacation in California. We went to Crystal Cove State Park. I didn't sketch this on location, but I took a picture and did it later. This was from a Patreon tutorial, Paint With Me tutorial, and I ended up making a sticker of this guy for Patreon as well. This was like another sketch group that I just joined, although I only got to meet with one, and then now we're all in quarantine, so it's kind of on hold. But it doesn't have a name to this group. It's just a bunch of people that like to get together during the week, and we went to the Mexican Cultural Institute. And inside this building was so gorgeous, and it was so peaceful. And the light was just coming in these windows and had this really awesome furniture. I loved it. Just loved it. And this is another one from our vacation in California, the Joshua Tree National Park. I didn't have time to do this on location either, but I had my sketchbook, so I got the little stamps from the gifts shop. They usually have stamps at national parks. And then I did this one at home. It's watercolor. This half here is from another nature journaling outing. I never heard of these birds before, the double-breasted cormorant, but there were so many there, and they were so cool looking, and they I guess they dive for fish, but their feathers aren't 100% waterproof, so they have to stand there with their wings out and dry them out. It looks really cute. These two were both from the Sketchbook Revival workshop that's going on now, actually, so there's still time to sign up and do it. It's free, and it's so fun. There's 2 sessions a day that lead you through a wonderful sketchbook exercise. And we're going to be getting in, I think I have a few of these in this book, too. The next page, though, this is from my pastel watercolor review, I guess, for White Nights watercolor. I have a video of that, and I wanted to include this picture, so I just kind of washi taped it in there, so because I didn't want to put it on it this time, so this is how I did it. This was another Patreon video of a lily sketch with me. I actually ended up making this one public just as like a nice little quarantine promo so everyone could try out a video, and yeah, I hope you check it out. Oops. These were from Sketchbook Revival. This one was to show how to paint white and all the different values that can be in it, and you were supposed to do a sketch of the last thing you ate, so that was my pizza. And this was from Sketchbook Revival as well. You were supposed to make like a blob and like just put it on there and then come up with a character from it, so that was super fun. This was another Sketchbook Revival exercise. I absolutely loved it. I mean, things like this is not something I normally do, so I love getting instruction on how to do things like this and just relax and make a mess, and then it turns out being gorgeous. I don't get it. Here's another Sketchbook Revival, the Corky Bird. This one was so fun. I loved it. It's just, she just leads you through the steps on making your very own Corky Bird. Another Sketchbook Revival exercise, you were to get a flower petal and paint it, and of course the magnolias are blooming here, so that was perfect. And this was a whole different day, another exercise about I can't remember what she called it exactly, but you were to come up with a line that is your, you know, like, why am I having a brain fart? Something like a goal that you want to have this year, and then you have to dissect it and do the truths and then the lies that your brain might tell you, and it's really great exercise. Highly recommend. Another Sketchbook Revival one. This one was like crazy out of my comfort zone. You literally made a mess, and it turned out to be awesome. Loved it. And these are just some swatches from from my watercolor set and a couple other ones that I got. And that's it. A couple labels and stuff in here. That's it. Here's a sticker from the Looming Marrow, a friend online, and this is one of my stickers. So I hope you enjoyed this sketchbook flip through. But yeah, how's it going? How's everyone doing in your secluded world? I'm doing okay. I'm glad that I had Sketchbook Revival to keep me occupied, but it's almost over, so thanks everybody for all your love and support. Check out all my links below. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and join me on Patreon if you're so inclined. There are lots of little tutorials on there. And yeah, thanks guys. Love you.